All right, so this is the road leading up to the house. And then I'm just gonna be walking up our driveway. So this is the road that or the asphalt that we just had paved. They finished it about 3 days ago. So we've only been driving on it for a couple of days. They didn't do the whole road, but they did level out this part. This part was really steep. It was like a 30% grade. So they leveled it out, compacted it, and asphalted. Oh, let me show you this first. Let's see. So our property starts actually about right here. There's one house. But that little valley is the property line. And it starts going up in that direction. So we'll just keep walking up. Look at these rocks. I want to get some of these and use them for to build some stuff around the yard. So I'm probably gonna need some machinery to gather all this stuff. But look at all the rocks here. I don't know if you can tell, but this is a really steep driveway. I think it's about 600 feet. So this is the end of the asphalt part. From the rest of the road here is pretty level. So we didn't really need the asphalt. Whew. Altitude's a killer. At this point, the elevation is 4,200 feet. So we're just above the elevation of the city of Julian. And then if we see, so that's the Salton Sea. And you probably can't tell really, but it drops down probably, I don't know, my guess would be 1,000 feet to the valley below. Hey, a trailer. So we just got the trailer parked here. When they finished asphalting on Tuesday, grabbed the trailer on Wednesday, and we're finally able to park it here. So, pretty cool. This is another thing they did. When they, this area right here used to be really rocky. So when they finished grading the driveway and compacting it, as a favor, they did a couple of passes here. But I just want to show you, here's the water towers, or the water tanks. And this is sort of a back part of the property, up near the mountain. It's not very walkable right now, but eventually I'd like to develop this, level it out, maybe build a shed or something back here. But the property comes up here. So the property line is, if you can see that bald area sort of halfway up the screen, that's the top of the property line. And it extends all the way around. And if you see the ravine there, it goes just past, and then about where, just past that tree, just to the left of it, it starts going downhill. Let's see if I can get a shot of that. It's pretty steep, but this ravine belongs to us. So we should be able to capture some water when it starts raining and snow starts melting. So we'll be able to capture some water and keep it on the property. And that'll help for growing some vegetation. But here's the other side of the tanks. There's 3 tanks here. I think it's 15,000 gallons? No. I forget. I'll have to ask Kelly, she remembers. So right now we're on the top of the property above the house. And if you see, I don't know, see if you can see it. The top of the house is down there. Let's walk. All right, and then to get to the house, come down here. Again, we have another part of a asphalt driveway. So down to the house, where it gets a little steep. We already had some asphalt here, so it's in pretty decent shape. So right on the other side of the tanks, this is kind of a staging area where I'm putting building materials. So I have a big old pile of compost and my mulch that I'm working on. So this is a ready compost pile that I've already got. That one's under development, and that used to be a shed, I think. There's still a cement slab there that I might be able to repurpose and put another shed there, but they left their junk, so I'm gonna have to take that stuff out to the dump or possibly reuse it. I'm not really sure. I don't think there's much usable stuff there. It might be pretty rusty. Okay, so now we're walking down the driveway, and then the house is right there. There's the garage. And then before we walk towards the house, I actually want to come show you this. This is the cool part of the property. This is the mountain part, the trails that I'm starting to build, and some trees that I'm starting to plant. So these are some old set of stairs that need to be replaced, but it gets us down into the proper, into the actual wilderness part. Stinky eucalyptus trees. But the street that we're on is called Manzanita. And Manzanita is a tree that grows everywhere around here. And this is what a Manzanita looks like. It's got red bark, tiny little leaves. It's sort of like oak leaves. But this red bark is pretty amazing. When it's live and thriving, it looks red, right? See, it looks like meat or muscle. But then when it dies, it dries out. It gets all white. Supposedly it burns really hot. So, you know, I don't know if people really use it because it's pretty intense. And this is fire country, so you don't really want to do that. These are some trees that I'm planting right now. A little fig tree I put in, and some blackberries, but it's November right now, so leaves are dropping, but I put these in about 2 weeks ago. They seem to be doing pretty well. I have to put this tarp up because during the Santa Anas, they might get blown over, so just trying to protect those guys. So let's keep going. Well, if you see also, well, let's just go this way real quick. This whole area is going to be terraced. So it's sort of an angle right now. You can't really tell. It's probably about a 20% grade. So what I did with this area, and what I'm going to do with the rest of this area, is terrace it out. So this is a level planting ground. I'm going to be planting trees and bushes and stuff here. But let's walk up here. And I shouldn't have wore flip-flops because this is not that solid ground. And then the existing fruit trees are in this area, so I've already started weed whacking and bushwhacking some trails here. This is a persimmon tree. I think it's not really producing. They haven't been taking care of it, so, but if you see these little persimmons, come on, focus. Yeah, these are tiny little persimmons, and I haven't had one. They're stunted, so probably next year. And then this is a pear tree, and I think something called a Siberian apricot. One of them's one. I think that's the pear. That's the apricot. So there's a couple of those, of each of those here. When we moved in, they didn't have any fruit on them, but I started pruning them, so hopefully there's an animal in here. So hopefully next year we'll start getting some fruit, but yeah, those guys are gonna take a lot of work. So you might be able to see how steep the sides are here. I'm starting to build a little trail up in this area. This will take us to the other side of the house, but we'll circle around that later. But if you look out this direction, this is all part of the property. So you'll see that ridge over there, and there's yeah, if you see, there's kind of a ridge, and then a little gully in between two hills. So that's part of our property line, and it goes straight back this way in between those two humps. There is totally something in these bushes. It's birds. Okay, they sound like birds. So the trail's pretty rough right now. I need to work on it a little bit. But I'm also going to be planting some additional trees down here. I'm going to be building some swales to capture water because it's the desert side of the mountain. We get very little rainfall, so I'm trying to capture and keep as much water on the property as possible. I can use that for watering the trees. I've got a lot of other trees that I want to plant, probably in the spring. But if we go back here, you can kind of see where a little bit better view of where I started clearing everything out. So it's relatively flat right now, but it's going to take a lot of manual labor to get it fully terraced. So hopefully I can get some heavy machinery out here to do some work. This side over here is kind of relatively flat. And so this is eventually going to be a vegetable garden. And then if we keep walking here, this is part of the trail that currently exists. So this area is still also relatively flat. It's got some vegetation, but what we're planning on doing is in the future years sort of clearing this out and building a greenhouse. Because the winters are pretty cold here, and the winds are pretty intense, so we'll need something over winter to protect the plants. I'm gonna be building, this is sort of like a little riverbed. The water flows naturally through here, so I'm gonna be building some what do they call, check dams to sort of slow down the water and try and keep it on the land. And if we go back here, this little hill is ours. That big hill apparently is not ours. That's state park. But the area in between belongs to us. And there actually is a trail here. It's actually a really pretty well maintained trail. And it goes all the way out to that little hill there. I've climbed it. I've went out there before, but it's fun. Just gotta watch out for the snakes. I haven't seen them so far, but you never know. All right, so let's walk back up to the hill. Yeah, the end of the property it goes about it's probably about 200 yards from here, and then it slopes down probably a good 60, 70 feet. I haven't gone that far down yet. It's pretty steep, so I need to build the trails out a little bit better. But this is walking back up to the house, and there's the house right there. I shouldn't have done this in flip-flops. All right. Whew. There's a lot of climbing here. High elevation. These stairs need a lot of work. I'm gonna have to rebuild these. They're pretty, yeah, look at that. Don't hold on to that. You're going right over the edge. But the actual steps are in relatively good shape, but they've seen better days. All right, so the house, the garage, which the garage door doesn't work yet. We have to get that replaced. The side yard. That's the bedroom. And that's my office. Hey, office. And you can see I'm looking at UTVs, Kubotas. And then the deck. This is where we were hanging out with some friends today. And then this is the top view of the area where we're just walking. So those are the fruit trees I was telling you about, the pear and the Siberian apricot. But it continues to go around this area. I'm gonna do something with this. I'm not really sure. Maybe like a terraced native garden. I don't know. Haven't decided yet. I want to put something here. I already started putting a trail out here. Kind of in the early stages. It's still really steep, but this is the side yard. Oh, the house, the kitchen, still stuff packed. A little fire ring outside, and I think here I want to put some steps so that we can get down there from this side of the yard. It doesn't look too bad. It's not too much of a stretch, but it's pretty steep. And then this is Eloise's very favorite spot of the whole place. Oh, little birds. This is just a little test garden I'm doing right now. Hey, birds, stay away from my seeds. I just got some garlic and carrots and some lettuce and stuff in here. Just trying it out because I haven't worked in this climate before where it snows. So this is first test run of some vegetables. This is where Eloise always stands and barks at the dog. I think there's a dog in that trailer or up there. There's a dog somewhere around here that Eloise is constantly barking with. But yeah, so this is I don't know if you can tell the depth, but it goes straight down. And at the bottom of the view is actually where the property line ends. So it's, you know, like it's 9 acres. That house there is it's Airbnb. And then there's a couple of trailers. The guy over here, I think, is actually building. I think he's building a tiny home. Pretty cool. Looks like he's done some good progress. And then a really fancy house over here. But those are our closest neighbors. Closest neighbors. Actually, they're not really neighbors because it's Airbnb. So, yeah, that's oh, and then if you look up here, yeah, that's where the truck and the trailer are. So we sort of just made a full circle. And then back into the house. Yeah, that's it. All right, bye.